under fractions, today is the pinnacle of the rest of your life. Whatever that means. We are dividing fractions. Now, before we said something, we did something like this, and we said, if you had 1/2 and you divided it by 1/4, we had to kind of try to think about how many 1/4s were in 1/2. You had a circle, you have a half of a circle, which is this part right here. How many quarters could you get out of a half of a circle? Or how many quarters could you get out of a half of a dollar, Manny? You could get 2. Okay, and that's all well and good, except when you get to really hard fractions, like let's say, what if you had 5/8 divided by 1/2? Okay, that gets a little goofy because you got 5/8 of a circle and you're trying to pick how many halves you can take out of 5/8. Well, there's a very, very, very simple little rule to divide fractions that you'll never have to think about the pictures again, and it just goes like this. Write this down in beautiful penmanship here. To divide by fractions simply multiply by the, let's write it down here, reciprocal. Or in other words, this was the mathematical way to say it, here's the 5th grade way to say it. In other words, flip the second fraction and multiply. A lot of words there. It's a pretty simple little procedure. To divide by a fraction, you simply multiply by its reciprocal. So we'll give you a chance to write that down. So you have the words written, and then we'll look at an example, or the one we just did as an example. Give you a chance to jot all of that down. Got it down, Em? That simply means, children, okay, 5/8 divided by 1/2 is the same thing as 5/8 times the reciprocal. Reciprocal just means flip it over, times the reciprocal of 1/2, which is 2/1. Okay, to divide by a fraction, you flip and multiply. And that'll give you 10/8. And then unfortunately I have to simplify that. Reducing it, cutting in half, I get 5/4. And 5/4 is 1 1/4. So there are 1 1/4 1/2 in 5/8, if that makes any sense to anybody. But that's what it is. It really doesn't make a lot of sense. So you got that? Let me give you a couple more examples there. 1/3 divided by 1/2. Now please get it in your heads, children. The one mistake I see a lot of people do is they flip the first one and not the second one. It's always the second one. If your answers are always upside down, that's because you're flipping the wrong one. So in this case right here, I'm always flipping the second one. It's 1/3 times 2/1. And when I multiply that together, I get 1 times 2 is 2. 3 times 1 is 3. 1/3 divided by 1/2 is 2/3. That doesn't seem so hard, does it? How about 3 divided by 2/3? Don't jump off the nearest bridge because 3 is not a fraction, because you can make 3 a fraction, Lance, by putting a 1 under it. What do I do with the 2/3? flip and multiply, so I get 3/1 times 3/2, flip it over, multiply across, I get 9/2. And what is 9/2 simplified? Isabel?
4 1/2.
4 1/2. 2 goes to 9 4 whole times with 1 left over. How about this one? 3 divided by 3/4. 3 divided by 3/4. How many 3/4 are in 3? Which one's gonna get flipped, Danny?
3/4.
We're gonna make this a fraction by putting it over 1. Flip and multiply by 3/4, which is multiplying by 4/3. I end up with 12/3, which Jaden is 4. We could probably do the picture of this. Here's my 3 circles. I want to know how many 3/4 I can get out of it, so I cut it all into fourths, and that'll tell me. How many 3/4 can I take out of that? Well, here's 1, 2, 3. There's 1 3/4. Change colors. Here's 1, 2, 3. There's another 3/4. Here's 1, 2, 3. There's a third 3/4 I can take out of it. And then I have 1, 2, 3, a fourth. 4 3/4 you can take out of 3. That's probably the most exciting.